Cave. Today it's really cold out. We got wind blowing, but I got some stuff in today. All this stuff that we get to mount and try out. So, but today, at least for this video, we're gonna actually set up my phone. All right, next on the agenda, we've got this bracket that I got from Butler Motorcycle Maps. These are the same guys, I believe, as Rever. Anyway, so what this is, it's a MOB mount, last phone mount you'll ever need. So, hand assembled in the USA and lifetime guarantee. Whose life? My life, the lifetime of this, the lifetime of this video before they pull it off. So we take this out, comes with a decal. I'll put it on the bike if I get sponsorship. So let's take a look at this. Now the reason this comes, this mount is designed to mount your phone, and it's a handlebar mount. And let me unscrew this first, get it out of the cardboard. Pretty straightforward. But what I want to show is they do have two different sizes of this. So I believe I have the small one, and there's two different mounts. You got a magnet mount and you got this bar clamp. So because we just took off the Cherbis mirror and we put on the double take mirrors instead, my goal was that, again, I got to leave room for Deacon, and was to put this guy in here off to the side. Let's see if this will work, because the farther I got it over there, the better, to keep it from interfering with Deacon. So evidently you're just supposed to adjust this to a certain particular point, right? And it's got a little over center hooky dookie here, and you just snap that on. Let me see if I can tighten that a little bit, and then I think you're supposed to be able to pull it off fairly quick too. I think that's take it with you. I don't know if we have to worry about that in Mexico, if kids are gonna dink around with our bike. So that's pretty good. I'm just barely clearing the master cylinder, and that's about as far over as I can get, because I don't want to move the clutch lever farther this way because it's already interfering over here. I think Ron actually took his and he filed down the end of it. But let's take a look at this. Okay, now all we need is a phone. So let me get my phone out. Where is that? All right, here it is. Okay, so I've got this here phone. It's from Verizon. You can't hardly see it, the back, but it's Kyocera. And the nice thing about this, it's waterproof and shockproof. So, but I think if I lost a little rubber thing in the bottom, so that's kind of a problem. But here I get to brag on Deacon. I keep him on my phone. So we're going to mount this here. and it's orange. It's always a good thing, right? We'll have to do a test. It's my phone has the turn-on buttons on the top, so this gets out of the way of that. It's got the power on the bottom. That's good. It's got my picture taking stuff that I don't really use too much. But I'll push this down until it binds into place. And it seems to be pretty sturdy. Now the only question is if Deacon's on here. The only question is if Deacon is on here with the bag and I go like this and I'm going to be whacking him. Could be, but for normal straight riding, I think we'll be out of the way. We should try it. Well, no, we can't do that until I actually get the tank bag and everything else going on. So let's continue on. Now, you can have the phone here, but eventually it's going to run out of power, so we have to fix that. But before I go too much further, I do want to go to this little guy. It's called Rever. And so if you hit this button, it's going to start tracking where you're riding. And let me see what's that map. So this kind of shows you where I am in the world, and it'll start riding from that. And this was a route I took once, to go up to the KTM dealer. And they introduced this stuff at the last Crest of Butte KTM Adventure Rally. So on this little 75-mile ride, it showed the elevation change and showed me going up and coming back down. And so this would be really fun to have if I'm down in Mexico, because then I can track everything on there. And then these maps, other people could go if they want to do the same trek. I think they can copy this off my website if I friend them on the Rever website. So, and the other nice thing, it uses your GPS. And even though you don't have, I need to do a different review, but I'm just throwing some things out there real quick, is that you can go offline and it'll track your GPS. Because the GPS is in the phone, it's resident on the phone, and it doesn't need to be tied into the internet while you're traveling, so you don't waste that bandwidth. So I need to learn more about that. All right. I also have, look at there. This downloaded, I did a plan for down in Baja. And see, here's my plan. The playa, or Fly to the Playa, that's basically fly to the beach in Espanol. And I don't know if it's going to give me guidance information, but that's all up in the air. So for the meantime, while that thing's doing its gig, because I am tied into my home internet, but the next thing, I want to connect some power to it. So how do we do that? Well, if you go to your local store, motorcycle shop, you can get this battery tender. Now, I've used battery tenders a lot, like for keeping the Corvette charged, and little trickle charges on that Yamaha over there, and they're just everywhere around here. So this battery tender has two little attachments to the battery. It's got a fuse in it. Let's see how big that fuse is. And I don't know if they're afraid your phone's going to short out. So that's okay. 7.5 amp. All right, and that's basically what this is on this end. This battery tender is, if I pull the end off there, it's a USB. So if I had a USB that went to a phone, voila, like this, you you just plug it in, right? And then this goes to the phone like that, somewhere or another. There you go. But we just need to get to the battery. Okay, so how do we do that on the KTM 690? Very easily. You go down here and you reach under here somewhere and you pull this little rubber thing and the whole seat lifts up. Okay, so now you can see where the battery is. Air filter straps for the Deacon attachments. And so we'll have to run this wire somewhere along, to get to the battery. So the first step is, let's just get this plugged into the battery. Now this little part here, your computer, you just lift that up out of the way, and now you can see you get to both of your power attachments. So let me get, looks like 8mm socket on the ground, and the positive, I'm pretty sure is going to be the same. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. I guess when I put this in that way, yeah, this could also go that way too, but I'll just put this for there right now, and I'll get me the 8mm wrench down here. There we go. Let's start with the ground first. Now Ron is, he's been playing around a lot with this. So it's got a little washer under there. And, alright, so that's a way big loop for this. So I think what I would want to do is I'll put the black wire underneath that flat wire there. And then put this screw back in. My bike is complaining as I'm turning on and off the power to it. The computer is I'm actually going to bring this over this way to get it out of the way of the computer. Okay. And what's nice about also with the 690, because it is although it's considered an enduro bike, it's like a what would you call an adventure bike on Adventure Bike Light. So let's take this guy off now. I got the hardware there, and I'm going to put right underneath that whole stack up, going this way. And if you were so inclined, you could change the loop on it to a smaller, like a 5/16 hole instead of this giant hole that it comes with. And I'm going to stuff this down that way. I'm wondering now if yeah, that should still maybe not. Let's find out. Okay, so the little red positive cover is just enough to maybe fit down in there. You know, I think it's not expecting to see that little tab there, so maybe if this was put farther up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. All right. Because I kind of like where I got it. So what I'm looking for is just some sort of shear work. Here we go. Doing it about this. I'm just going to cut part of that off. So it'll fit in there easier. Let's try that. Okay. Oops, sorry. Took the. So that's nice and snug in there. The fuse is easy to get to. Now it's just going to be a matter of how we're going to run this wire up so it's out of the way. So let me think about this. This part's going to go back here. There we go. So at the very least, you can use it to charge your phone while you're riding. All right. So let's see what our options are. It looks pretty straightforward if you just ran it along the side here, right? And then okay, so this, see that little tab there? That's where your seat rests on. So it needs to go like up here. Let me show you the seat. The seat's got this, this is the front. So it's got these two bumpers. One's going to be there and one's going to be there. So we can't get in the way of that. Now you could run on the outside of that and then up. That might be best. By the way, while I got the seat off, I took copies of the from the manual, the little label that shows you the chain tension and the settings for the forks and shocks, and those are normally on the seat, and I went ahead and put these on my seat concept seat. All right, let's take a peek. Now, definitely would not be in the way if we went down below and then came up below that. And you know, the advantage to that might be, guys, is that if this is below the seat, let's put that on. Then we can actually, let me stuff this behind that guy there. There we go. If we dress this below this point here and it's sitting here, that means you could change this cable in and out whenever you wanted to. I kind of like that. And then you can run you could disconnect the USB cable, just fish it in there. So let's start with this, because I have some other stuff going on here that you could get very busy in there. What with the stuff I'm doing to keep Deacon safe. I'll take a peek, see if we're crashing on anything. Nope. All right, that looks good. All right, so I can also, because this is sitting right here, it's going to be pretty obvious. Did I not put the screw back in here? Evidently I didn't. All right, so I'll go back and do that anyway. So I got another part coming in, by the way. When they did my radiator mount, I'm going to put a rubber baby buggy bumper there, that same thing that you see here. That's going to be another one there. So that's coming in. But now I'm curious, just before I go too much further, and this guy is way too long, right? Huge. I don't know what device I have that had that, but for temporarily speaking, let's go ahead and plug it in. And I might want to tape this up or something to keep the rain and the water out of it. Deacon, is that you? All right, he's getting antsy. All right, he thinks it's... Go ahead. Cool. What is it?
Revzilla.
More stuff. Yay. All right. So Deacon likes to greet the UPS guys and whatever. You know, I'm losing track of what I'm ordering. So let's just put it in there. Go back to this. And let's turn on the phone. Okay, so first problem is my phone with this battery tender is not seeing, I'm not seeing a charge. So let's go back to my phone settings. battery, and it just shows it as being discharged. And that turning on the motorcycle shouldn't affect it, right? So evidently it doesn't like this cable, or the voltage that's coming out of the battery tender is not correct for a phone. So let me go find a different cable. I'll experiment with it. All right, right back. So it's running again. All right, so not charging. So I'm going to get this other cable. Now this cable came with one of my battery packs. It's like one of these guys. So actually, let me try that. Let me put this on my battery pack. Plug that in, and you'll see the cable's okay because now this is showing charging. So I'm not getting from the battery tender to the phone. So my backup battery pack, which is sitting right here, and I use this one to get like 6 hours of recording on that camera. So let me try a different wire. Otherwise it could be, I don't know what I paid for this thing. Let's try this one. Nope, nothing. So maybe that fuse is bad. Let's go look at the fuse. Then let's pop this off. All right, so here's the fuse. Okay, we got black going to black, and we got the red going to red. That's all. Everything's supposed to be that way, right? Pull this out. Well, the fuse looks good. There just isn't anything coming out of here. So let me do this. Let me get my voltmeter. Okay, let's go to 20 volts. Do a little sanity check. You know, obviously, if I put this on the battery, I've got 12 volts, right? So if I go to this end of this cable, the closed end should be the positive, because you never want to leave that exposed. And this should be the negative, and it's got 12 volts. So the fuse is not blown. It's getting to the little charge device, so it's crap. So whatever this is that I bought, is not working.